What's up, beautiful humans? It is your boy Tim, and right now I'm on a water fast, as some of you might know. Today, actually, within this half an hour, marks 2 weeks, 14 days since I started my water fast. When I first started, I intended to do a week. I got to a week, did a lot of research as I was going on, read a lot of books. Felt good, felt like it was important to carry on going, felt like the healing was just getting started. So I carried on. I kept a journal of the first 10, 12 days of weight, heart rate, things like that. And so I just wanted to do a quick summation of what I'm going to do a way more in-depth video on my main channel, which will be better edited, really thought out, all my ideas and thoughts, put into one nice video. But this is just off the dome. While you're following this journey, I may as well mark 14 days. So I wasn't doing it for weight loss for aesthetics, but I certainly knew I was carrying around weight that I didn't need. A lot of stuff from eating habits from very young, and what I've learned through fasting is that you just can't get rid of it as long as you're consuming day after day, and until you go 3 days and go into ketosis and autophagy, you can't actually get that stuff out of your body, and that's what has been coming out of my body. I just got some ketosis strips, keto sticks, to check that your body's in ketosis, although I can tell my pee has sort of been the colour of iron brew for the last 10 days or something like that. But I've got scales here. I'm going to weigh myself. I started out at 177 pounds. Yes, I've lost fat, I've trimmed down, not really lost any muscle, it's just all below. I measured myself earlier and it was 152 pounds. So I've lost about 15 pounds. It's like 10 stone 10 for British people. I don't know what that is in kilos, but lost some weight. Body feels fine. I do feel a general fatigue all over. I can't move fast. If I do stand up quickly, I get lightheaded, and that has actually gotten more intense as it's gone on. So I have to get up slower as I've gone on, which is to do with low blood pressure. I'm not sure if that what that entails, but that's something to do with the deep healing, I'm sure. And a lot of people, that's the main thing that come up when it comes to detox symptoms. I haven't actually felt anything other than fatigue. I've not had nausea. I've not had any headaches. Coming into this, I was, a bit of junk food vegan, but I did have spells of completely raw, and I think that might have helped clear me in the past, which helped set me up really nicely for this fast. I checked my heart rate. It's averaging about 46, 47 most of the time, which for me, I think that's fine. That's nice and healthy. In terms of water, how much water I'm drinking, probably up to 1 litre a day, no more. I'm drinking to thirst. Lately, I've been more thirsty. I did some dry fasting at the start, and I wanted to do more days of dry fasting in between. But I've been quite thirsty lately, so I've been sipping on water. A few days ago, and I'm going to do more videos on all of this stuff a bit more in depth, and reasons why and everything. A few days ago, I felt a drop down the back of my throat, a sweet, like nectar, sweet honey drip, which is very strange. And I was looking into John St. Julian, who talks about that being a release from your pineal gland when your body's really alkaline. They call it soma, nectar of the gods, amber. The interesting thing was that I was rubbing amber. I hope I had it in my pocket, and now I don't know where it is. I might have left it at my parents'. But it's funny that it's called amber, ambrosia of the gods. Potentially, but then also, well, it could be the same thing. Then I've been researching more, and people say that's just ketosis, that's just sort of the sugar coming out. But it is interesting that it comes it's like feeding me when I'm just drinking water. This sweet trip it's been a sweet flavour in my mouth the last few days, to be honest, from purely from that. So that's an interesting thing to notice. In terms of going to the bathroom, I went toilet in the beginning. And then on day 6, I did an enema on day 2, and then that came out. And then on day 6, I had another one, but it felt like the remains of the enema that was just still in there eventually came out. Then on day 10, I needed a toilet, but I didn't have a toilet around, so I had to hold it in. And then it's not been out since then. And we're 4 or 5 days later, it's still not come out, which is fine. Reading Herbert Shelton's work has really helped me, and it just says you know, that's one of the things was debating. I was going to do enemas every day, then I was going to do it every other day, because one of the guys I'm reading, Arnold Ehret, really recommends enemas, and then Herbert, he's from like 1900, early 20th century, so like 1900 to 1910, and his stuff has been my favourite right now. I've just finished this one, and this has been, I've loved most of the books I've read. This is Rational Fasting has been. It feels like I've read every book I've read it at the right time. So that's good that it's come later, because it's more about diet after fasting than the fasting itself. And Herbert Shelton's work, who's fasted 40,000 people, comes 20 years after him in the 1930s. And he says, yes, I understand Ehret recommends enemas, but we did enemas for 5 years, then we tested them, and actually it can ruin your bowel movements, because then you're giving your body an aid to cleanse, whereas you should just let it happen on a natural process. So that's one of the reasons I stopped the enemas, and I haven't been to the toilet since, which is fine. They say after you finish fasting, when you first eat food, that's when it really starts to get the stuff out. So there's work going on. I can certainly feel work going on when I'm lying down flat, completely stationary, and I'm not twitching, moving. Then my body starts to, I feel this like energy layer come over my whole body, and it starts to like separate me from the body, and it's like a cast is going over me, and then I can feel the work going on more then, but as long as I'm active, it's not quite happening, and then I get tired quite quickly. But I've got things to do. I've been driving my car, I've been working at the office, but I have had spells where I'm just like, right, I'm done for the day, I need to lie down, and I'm reading my book, I'm writing notes down, I'm watching the World Cup right now. Also, brushing your teeth, that's another question people ask. I've not brushed my teeth since day one. I feel like, again, it's about trusting your body. Toothbrushes, I've always used them my whole life. I'm not against brushing your teeth. I use toothpaste, fluoride free, of course, as natural as possible. But the one thing I've always sort of intuitively felt, and much more reading the stuff that I've read now, is about natural hygiene. And that so many people make sure they're really clean on the outside and they're not clean on the inside. And there's this constant upkeep of like deodorant and sprays and brushing teeth to make sure that it's detox symptoms when you smell. It's all purely detox symptoms from the junk you put in your body. So they're disgusting on the inside, and they're trying to balance it out by what they're doing on the outside. So brushing the teeth, I feel like they get a bit furry and the tongue goes white. The tongue's quite white, but that's the process it wants to do. For me, I'd see it like scaffolding poles on the outside of the building, and I'm just going to knock the scaffolding down. It's like, right, we've got to build the scaffolding and then do the work again. So rather than knock the scaffolding down, I'm letting my body leave it up there. I did a podcast the other day. I pre-warned them and said, look, I don't like to tell everyone I'm fasting, but I pre-warned them and said, look, I'm doing a fast. I'm not brushing my teeth to respect the natural hygiene of what my body wants to do, the process it wants to go through. So my breath might smell. No one's commented. I keep my distance. I'll be respectful when I've not been around too many people. But that's that for brushing teeth. Just trying to hit all the questions I've been asked, which again I will do more in depth in separate videos. But yeah, this is day 14 into a walk fast. How far do I intend on going? I thought about going, 40 days. Sometimes they talk about your body uses all of burns all the cells in your body that shouldn't be there, and then eventually once it's done, burn everything that shouldn't be there, then it starts to eat the important stuff that your body needs to survive. And when that happens, it's a real deep hunger in the throat, not in the stomach. Your tongue clears, the natural hunger comes back, the real hunger, which I've probably never felt in my entire life, or any of us have probably ever really felt. And that takes like 5 to 8 weeks to come around. I thought that's probably good, because then, say you've got a bath full of gunk, and you're fasting, you're emptying it down the drain, and then you put the plug hole in when you went in my fast. And that's why a lot of people have problems refeeding after a fast, is because the body's not actually done with the healing and they're forcing the food in, so then they have to be gentle. So the body's like, oh, we're going to eat again, let's switch modes, rather than the natural hunger. And that's why refeeding is important to do correctly, and I've done a lot of research into how I'm going to do that when I choose to do that. But for now, I've got other events on. It's my first ever fast. I'm being cautious, I'm not letting my ego get involved in this. So I'm thinking 22 days gives me time to refeed for other things that I've got coming up. It's a good experience. One of the biggest things I wanted to heal on my body was candida, with my toenails, sort of eczema type things. Again, my joints, quite cracky, creaky. I've done yoga for years and never really gained anything because my joints have always been quite stiff. And it's like you get a little gain for a lot of work and then you come back down. And so it led me to fasting because I was sick of this battle. I was like, there's got to be a way that I just take a big step back to come forward. And that's why I'm fasting, that's why I'm here. I'm inspired. Yes, there are moments of complete boredom, of like, but I've just accepted it and I'm in it, and I've got another week, 8 days to go. Things are changing, my toes are healing, my body's feeling better, I'm loose in my body. In terms of muscle loss, people worry about muscle loss. They're saying 30 days of fasting, you may lose 1 to 2 pounds. Nothing, I can't really get back. I've had times off work, I've had times off training before, I've busted my knees, I've had surgery, took 6 months off, and then once my body's ready to train again, the muscle memory's there like that, and with the good diet, it can just go straight back into the mode that I've had before. So I'm looking forward to training again. I'm looking forward to hiking, running, climbing, yoga, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to appreciate it so much more when I get there this time. I'm going to appreciate food much more. I intend to be raw. I've been reading a lot about the mucusless diet, which I was reading before anyway, but the fast really helps you to reset your habits. Spiritually, way more alert, more connected. I feel like my eyes have got a way more piercing stare when I look at someone. It's powerful, not in like an arrogant way, but it's like it's more connect. Like they can connect with it more. Noticing weeds that are all beautiful flowers and colours, and I'm smelling them. Smells are amazing. And after it rains, it smells amazing. Mentally strong, like I moved to a place called Wellington, and I always try to associate names. What does that mean? What's that? And I wondered, is Wellington where I'm going to get my willpower? And I moved in, and I was at a really rough few months, nearly a year, and then it's like, well, now I'm fasting in Wellington, and I think the way I did my fast was really kind of perfect timing, in the sense that I went away for the first week so I could lose all the habits. If I tried to start the fasting in my home environment, it would be a lot harder. And if I went to a fasting centre, then that's just like, you're there for the whole time and it's like a dream retreat, and then you come back and you're right back into old habits. I went away for a week, reset myself, did a week of fasting, and I've come back into my old space, my old environment. So I'm faced with all those challenges that I used to, I need to tidy my flat, I'm going to go to the cupboard, eat whatever I need to eat. I've come right back into that environment and I'm not doing any of it. So it's, go away, centre myself, come back, face it with my centred self. And then my plan is for the next week is to go out into a bit more nature, get a bit more fresh air, do a bit more relaxing, barefoot on the grass, wind under my armpits, and just really try to, I feel that connection coming. So I want to experience that I've never felt as an adult before, other than maybe with mushrooms, but it'd be a lot more intense in this realm, and then we can play with those realms again afterwards, so we can go back to that after. So I'm excited for all of that, but just building my appreciation again. The health is the body showing happiness, and that's what we're after. It's happiness in the body, and my body wasn't that happy. You may look at me and think, if you know my history with sports and everything like that guy's healthy, vegan, ninja warrior, all that stuff, and it's like, from the outside maybe, but I know myself, and no one's more honest with myself and cares more about me than me, and I can't lie to myself. I'm quite intuitive, and I've always tried to apply as much or more heart intelligence to my life than mind intelligence. Yes, the mind takes over and it's there, but I live in the subtleties. I play with the subconscious, and I learn to listen to the subconscious in the silence. That's where it plays. And I'm present there, and it's led me to this, and I'm excited to keep going and see where I can get to. Thank you so much, wherever you are, for watching this video. If you liked it, if it helped you, or whatever, please subscribe, comment, like the video. There's a link below if you want to support me. This is truly my path now, to be my own scientist with my body, using empirical evidence, the science of nature's laws. And they're always simple. If it's complex, then it's humbug, man. In the words of Eric, if it needs to be complex to be explained, it's humbug. It's not. Life isn't that complicated, but you have to do so much undoing to get into those realms, and that is the work we're working on. And I hope you're probably here because you're thinking about working on it too. But yeah, if you want to help me out, there's a couple of links below. You can support me there. If not, a like, whatever. I appreciate your view, your time is more than enough. I'm using a Distiller. I'll put a link to the Distiller that I use below as well to drink water. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Day 14, water fast. These are the things that happened, thoughts. They're streaming off the dome. They're coming at you. I can go for another 20 minutes, but I'll leave it there. Much love, guys.